Uh, so my name is Noel Pavlik. I'm a second year student. So AMS Aviation Management with Pilot Studies. I'm currently actually the class rep for my year, and I'll be just talking to you about the course in general and how I felt about it. If you could skip the slide, Margaret, please. Thank you. So this course is an undergraduate course. It's a full-time course. And in the past few years, the points have just been rising. So I'm second year now, and when I have applied for this course, the points were 481. So it is a 4-year course, and of course, if you're choosing to do pilot studies or air traffic control, the fourth year might be longer than a year. I know for the piloting route, it is about 18 months, but this obviously depends on your ability to complete work for the flight school. So the requirements for this course are six leaving certificate subjects at grade O, H, and H7. It has to include English or Irish and the subject mathematics. You have to have at least two subjects at a grade of H5 and a minimum of a O4 or H6 in mathematics. Uh, it is best to have a good understanding in maths because it will help you do some of the assignments. Uh, so this is basically the breakdown of the every year. As you can see from just reading what subjects we have, this course is basically a business course with aviation tied to it. So it is good for like somebody asked leasing. Is it good for leasing? It's very good for leasing and for understanding the business side of it. It is very helpful to know how everything works in the aviation industry, just to be safe and just to know how to approach a job and how to manage everything. Um, so in year one, you can see aviation sector and flying theory. I would say this was probably my favorite module as far as the 2 years. It is it is basically just learning about how a plane flies or a plane flies and the physics of it. We had a good lecturer. His name was Andy. He's a helicopter pilot, and he was actually flying a few T-shocks. So he had a good few funny stories, which is never to be missed. Um, in second year, I'd say one of my favorite modules would be the sustainable aviation, which I have done last semester. So yesterday is actually when we came back from our Christmas break. We usually get around 3 weeks, depending on the course. For this course, around 3 weeks. In sustainable aviation, we basically learned the effects aviation has on the environment and the people around us, and how we might be able to mitigate those effects. And uh, also, something that I like as well is the airline economics and finance. That was interesting. That was actually taught by our program chair. His name is Carl Gumard. Uh, it is basically how airlines function and how they implement business in their strategy to gain most out of flying, I guess. Yeah. Uh, And in year three, so I'm second year. I still haven't got there yet. But as you can see in year three, there's a significant amount, or less subjects basically to learn. That's because we have an internship, which is taking part in the first semester of year three. The internship basically is a good way, a good starting point to know what do you want to do in aviation. So we have to work somewhere in the aviation sector for 4 or 6 months, and we gain some valuable experience, which we transfer on to fourth year. And the second semester, we learn about Well, basically, it's just lectures in the second semester of third year, and exams at the end. So last year I had four exams in total, two for Christmas and two for summer. They weren't hard, but it's something you want to know, you want to learn for, and be sure you know your stuff. This year I had one exam for Christmas, and I think I'm gonna have three more for summer. So it's not too heavy with the exams, and the exams aren't maths based. There was one maths exam, but that was pretty simple. It was just business maths. Uh, Next slide, please. Thank you. So for final year, there's three different routes you can take. I'm actually going to be going for the pilot studies route, which includes you getting your ATPL, well, frozen ATPL, and acquiring your PPL as well. This the college will see if you're fit to do it, and will send you on to flight school. There's one or two flight schools in Dublin that are certified with DCU to do flight training. Atlantic Flight School is one of them, I think. Um, Pros and ATPL, that just means that you don't have enough, you don't have over 2,000 flying hours. So after 2,000 flying hours, your ATPL becomes unfrozen. Um, the air traffic control route. So one of my friends actually got into AirNav. AirNav is the company that runs all the air traffic control in Ireland. And it's a good way to earn money and to get to know aviation. And lastly, the aviation management, just the business side of it. Uh, this would be your leasing, this would be your management, working in HR or anywhere, any office job in the aviation industry. One thing I would say though is if you want to be a pilot or an air traffic controller, if you see an opportunity for a cadetship or a student student learning course for the air traffic control, maybe, I'd say take that. That would be probably a cheaper and a better option, along with studying the course. Uh, Next slide, please. Thank you. So, college life. Uh, when I was applying for this course, I actually didn't want to go to college. I didn't want to have to learn anymore, you know. But my parents were just saying, go for it, try. You never know. You can always do something else if you don't like it. And I'd say it's probably one of the best decisions I've ever done, just with the amount of people I've met and the amount of stuff that just goes around in my life now. This course is easy with the workload. There isn't much work to be done, but there has to be consistent work throughout the week. So I know last year we were off 2 days a week, so we had 3 days of lectures, and this year we have 4 days of lectures, so one day off a week. And I would say if you're joining college or any course in general, just go meet new people. It's very important to have a good network with people, to know as many people as you can, because somebody's always going to know somebody, and that might help you to achieve what you want quicker or more efficient. Societies are great as well. I'm actually a part of the DJ society. I think there's about 130 societies and clubs in DCU, so a bit for everybody. It's a good way to know people, to get to know people who have the same interests as you, and it's also good for going on nights out. You know, there's people go out and then just invite you basically. Um, so last year we had a good few guest speakers from different subjects. So we actually had Michael O'Leary, who's the CEO of Ryanair. come and talk to us about Ryanair and just have a big Q&A session. Uh, I think that was actually very great. It was funny to see how he actually is in real life. Willie Walsh also came along. He's the Irish Aviation Transport Authority CEO. That was also interesting. We also had a few well-being, time management guest speakers as well come in and talk to us about not something that's business related, but something that will help out in the future. From the pictures there, you can see. So we went to a Global Aviation Sustainability Day conference in Dublin that actually took place last year in the last semester, so 2024. Um, that was really interesting. It gave me a very nice perspective of what aviation actually is and how many people are interested in working inside of it. There's always going to be a job somewhere, and if you just put the work in, it will pay out. I would also say take any opportunity you can. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities presented to you throughout the college life, throughout all the lectures, everywhere, and just take the opportunity. It doesn't matter. Nobody in college really cares about uh, other people. It's just for yourself to ask questions and to be curious. Lectures and timetables. So, uh, sorry, yeah, thank you. Um, Lectures and timetables. So our timetable is, as I said, it's actually very handy. So we're doing 4 days of lectures this week. Yesterday I had only one lecture. Today I had two lectures. So it's not work heavy. It's doable, and we know in advance when we have to where we have to be for a lecture. When do we have to be for a lecture, and when our exams are. So study abroad is actually an interesting one. That's actually the one that's gonna come next year. So this year, since this year, there's gonna be an Erasmus option for AMP students, as I'm informed by Call. So, like our year, we didn't have the opportunity to do that, but I feel like doing an Erasmus is very beneficiary. Just for getting to know people and to experience different experiences. And last thing I would say is be curious. Myself personally, I ask a lot of questions. People might laugh, but I don't really care, It's just for me. I want to know if something I'm thinking about is right or wrong, or the way I'm thinking should be changed or not. It's a good practice to have. I've met a lot of people just by asking questions, going up, talking to someone, staying after a lecture, asking for an insight about, I don't know, something in the aviation. It's a good practice to have. I'd recommend it to everyone. And last slide, please. So that would be it. This is the email down the bottom that you can ask any queries about the course there. You can also message me. Um, this is actually a picture of me in the simulator. That's actually a cool experience. A good way to see if you want to be a pilot or not. And thank you very much for listening. I'll take any questions you have now as well. Yeah, the course is suitable for aircraft leasing, yes. So, Erasmus, I'm not too sure about it, but from what I have heard from our program chair, it is going to be third year for our internship. So, in third year, first semester is the internship, and then the second semester is just lectures. So, I think the option will be in third year to do an Erasmus. Uh, that will be starting from next year's first year. Acceptance rate. I'm not sure what you mean by that. But there's 40 spaces. That's what it said for me, but there was about 55 people that got in. Uh, to get in, just have to have all the all the basic requirements and also have the points. Having more points will actually get you in better. Uh, but also, uh, yeah, it doesn't really matter. I mean, you just have to do your work, I guess. You can also, I mean, if you don't get enough points, you can also do a PLC, and that can allow you to get in. I know one of my best friends, he done a PLC, and he got in after 1 year of just doing a bit of work, going abroad, having fun, you know. One thing I would mention though is there there won't be a lot of people going the piloting route. They told us that last year as well at the start. It's usually about five, maybe 5 to 10 people that get go piloting. I'm not sure why, but it's just how people are able to do it. So pilot school on the website it says 100,000 plus. So it will depend on how quickly you get your PPL, your ATPL. So I know this can vary, but it will be expensive. It probably will be more expensive, a bit more expensive than a flight school just without college. Uh, but I think it's well worth it. I'd say the most expensive part of it all would be your type rating at the end and just paying the instructors. But yeah, around 100,000 plus. It could vary. Good question. I'm not sure about air traffic control. I'm sure there's some cost. I'm not sure how much, but yeah, you will have to pay for training if you go that route. But again, I'd say so AirNav, which is the firm that runs the whole air traffic control in Ireland, they run basically like student searches for air traffic controllers. So if you want to be a air traffic controller, you can apply there. Uh, they I don't know. I'm not sure. But I'd say if you in their contract, you might be able to work for them for a few years and they might cover some of the costs for you. So they could be flexible with it. So pilot training, uh, DCU has a deal with a few flight schools. So it would be with the DCU flight school. I mean, you can also, another option would be to do your own flight school and then just do the whole course. But the business side of it, of course. Spain, yeah, there we go. I wouldn't say it's difficult. I'd say it's actually easier because so the flying theory lectures that I mentioned, they are seen by the Irish Aviation Authority. So they can the Irish Aviation Authority can actually see that you have completed a few classroom-based flying modules, which will help you actually. Yeah, if anybody has any more questions, you can, I think you can message me as well privately. I'm not sure.